Hey guys, Everseen here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my 3.24 heist experience and my methods and research that I've found on how to achieve some of the best items in the game from heist. Keep in mind though that I'm playing hardcore solo self-found, so my strategy is going to vary from whatever other game mode you play. This is not applicable to trade, this is only applicable to SSF. The idea behind farming heist for me was that I really wanted to try the strength stacking dual strike of ambidexterity juggernaut build. So that requires a helical ring for the strength, and then also a replica Alberons for the strength stacking. So to start out, I just want to do a quick inventory of the items I've found in about 1500 to 1750 wings. This is because I didn't really keep track until whatever. I did probably like 200 or 300 wings that were approximate, and then I started counting and I did a confirmed like 1418 wings, I believe. So that's basically all that's documented. But yeah, in the beginning I did like 200 or 300 wings that I'm just unsure of. But anyway, I found all of these items before I found replica Alberons. Basically, replica Alberons was the item that I was hunting for. I found a helical really early on, so I was just going for the boots. I found 2 simplex amulets. I found 1 astrolabe. I found 1 replica Alberons, of course. I found 2 helical rings. Found like over 16 experimental rings. I think I left some of them even in the curio case or dropped them on the ground, ones that were really bad. I found at least 7 Pharaoh's Fur. I found 2 Expedition End. I found 3 Shroud of the Lightless. I found like 2 or 3 Destiny Shroud. I also found like 4 Badge of the Brotherhood. Basically one of every replica unique except for Headhunter and Bated Breath is what I found. 4 Divine Orbs. Holy shit, let's go. So let's go over my strategy, basically how I evolved it over since the start. The start was kind of rough. I was doing stuff and just really experimenting with a bunch of different strategies, but in the final progress, like this is probably the fastest way to run blueprints and get rogue markers to do your blueprints. Mandatory things you need for this strategy are to use heist on the map device. You have to use it on every single map because this is how you're gonna like get a lot of your blueprints and guarantee a bunch of smugglers caches. Heist doesn't have any scarabs, doesn't have any real Atlas help. There's only like 40% chance to get a smuggler's cache, so you really need to use heist on the map device to guarantee multiple smuggler's caches. The other mandatory item that I use that I think is essential is the trinket for 10% chance to duplicate rogue markers from smuggler's caches in your maps. So typically you'll dupe a lot of these rogue markers and it'll give you a bit more sustain on being able to pay for your blueprints. Another mandatory thing for your rogues is you just want job speed. Really all you want. The only thing that I would really try and shoot for is get 1 brooch that has the 25% increased primary heist target value or something for that matter. And basically what happens is when you do like say Gianna contracts for deception, if you put this on her, you're just going to get 25% more rogue markers from each of those rewards that you bring back and sell to Faustus. So it's going to be really good for getting just extra rogue markers, and you might as well be doing that. So to start out with the heist strategy, I was basically just doing heist on white T16 maps. I was spamming heist on the map device, and I was basically just running to the boss, killing the boss, trying to get maps, and just sustaining my maps, but also just running maps kind of as quickly as possible. I wanted to guarantee I got eye level 83 blueprints because I feel like the rewards, especially currency, are better in the higher level blueprints. I started out farming deception contracts and whatever contracts I could just get my hands on to go get rogue markers to fully reveal each blueprint that I found. Shortly after doing this strategy though, I found that the amount of Gianna reveals was not sustainable and the wings were super expensive trying to unveil everything. So when running the blueprints, I was doing side rooms such as essence, currency, fragment, map, and ultimatum rooms. I was really just doing these because I needed to amass a bunch of these things. Like I really wanted essence scarabs because I needed to essence farm later. I was just doing currency to try and get some div drops. I got like a couple times I got 2 divs out of the currency chest because it duped from Vindari. And yeah, fragments give you lots of scarabs. Maps just gave me lots of maps, and ultimatum gave me all the catalysts that I could possibly need. So basically after realizing that doing the full reveals wasn't a good strategy, I was just going for the 1 reveal on a contract. So I was just trying to farm a lot of blueprints, but in SSF I don't have a lot of access to blueprints. It's actually hard because I need to go farm them. So I didn't really like doing the 1 reveal. I only did this for a short amount of time, but basically I started doing that, and I also incorporated ritual into the mix. So ritual is really good because it'll give you rogue markers like fairly often, and sometimes you get blueprints. This, however, can like feel really slow when you're doing maps. I was able to sustain blueprints and rogue markers by doing like, you know, the 1 Geon reveal on each blueprint. My only issue with this strategy was that I was only doing 2 wings per blueprint, and farming the blueprints, just like I said, was not a fast process. And I was still doing the side rooms at this point, but like later on, I do actually give up on doing the side rooms just to be more efficient and faster. And then this is where I landed on my foolproof strategy for SSF, which was to basically just blast T16 white maps as quick as I possibly could, killing the boss for map sustain, grabbing whatever caches along the way, and progressing to the next map. I ditched Ritual and decided that running the contracts would be a much better sustain for rogue markers. I picked up every single precious contract I could find, as well as priceless contracts, and would run all of these for rogue markers. The idea is that each blueprint I would run a total of 3 wings per. I wouldn't reveal the 4th wing because it's always expensive. I would start out my blueprints by revealing 1 Wakano wing, and then finally with Gianna. At this point, running blueprints, I was totally done with the side rooms since they wasted so much time, and my target was to get replica Alberons from the curio displays. I would progress to the end, and if there was nothing I wanted, I would break the case and log out. This would save me some time from running all the way out, and I would burn the wings so it was much easier to keep track of which wings I had already done. The reason I could log out is because I wasn't doing the side rooms to grab anything extra, so therefore I'm not really losing anything by logging out. I have tons of live streams over the past few weeks of running roughly 50 blueprints at a time, with 150 wings, give or take a few wings, since some blueprints dropped fully revealed at like 4 to 4 wings. Each time I did them this way, I typically got decent results in each sample size, usually like an experimental ring every single time. This led me to believe that revealing wings is kind of the way to go. In my experience, it just felt like the rarer items were easier to achieve because I was doing more wings per blueprint than the original strategy, which is just to like run unrevealed like 1 wing blueprints. The characters that I used for this will definitely vary from someone in trade or in regular SSF, but I used a Bone Shatter Juggernaut, which is not ideal for most. It is a little clunky leap slamming around and whatever, but the reason I did this is because I'm fairly familiar with the build and it's decently tanky. This provided me a much more safe experience being in hardcore solo self-found. I did level a Heist Runner, however, which I leveled with Toxic Rain Ballistas, and then I referenced like what Big Ducks did in his build and adjusted a few things for hardcore. I put a Dawnbreaker instead of the shield he used, and I didn't have the Devoto's Devotion that he had for a helmet. But all in all, I really found this build extremely squishy, and I wasn't able to seamlessly run through all the traps in Heist. I think it needed better gear to perform the way I wanted it to, and the Heist Runner was extremely helpful in running contracts though, especially Deception. The runner had around like, I think 250 to 300 movement speed, so it was a good build. I just should have probably only used it for contracts and then ran my Juggernaut for the blueprints. I was also looking in POB, and I could swap to Impale. Oh my god. Holy shit, we found a simplex. What do we do now, dude? Replica Frost Breath. Another simplex. You've got to be fucking kidding. Oh my god! Bro. Brother. What in the fuck is that? Bro. Oh my god, we found them. Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. I'm free. I'm free, boys. I'm fucking free. Let's go. So that's going to do it for the video, guys. Let me know what your heist experience has been like so far in 3.24. I'm definitely going to revisit the mechanic at some point. I don't really like heist, but I have a lot more respect for it now. But I probably won't revisit it for a while since it's way too much of a gamble, too much of a slot machine for me. But if you're interested in watching me play the Dual Strike build, I'll be live over on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 AM Eastern. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment because it just helps out my small channel quite a bit. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.